You're fired!
Around this time last year, if I had told you Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, along with many other talented wrestlers, would be released by WWE in 2021, you would have asked me, Kevin, can you stop drinking right now? Unfortunately, that turned out to be reality, and we actually need to make a list to keep track of all the talented WWE superstars who were released in 2021. And yes, this list doesn't include the names that didn't get their contracts renewed or simply chose not to have their contracts renewed. In the first 3 months of the year, WWE let go of Lars Sullivan, Steve Cutler, The Big Show, and Andrade, but that was just the beginning. The actual spree of releasing talents for budget cuts started on April 15th. The list included Samoa Joe, a release that shocked almost everyone. Joe's run with the WWE had a fair share of ups and downs, and while he never got a lift to the World Championship level, though he did have challenges for the title, he still managed to be in the top programs of the company. Fans went berserk criticizing WWE for releasing the Samoan Machine, and their voices were heard. He was soon brought back to the company as a part of NXT. Another interesting name on the list was Mickie James. James' second stint in WWE began in 2016 when she aligned herself with Alexa Bliss and subsequently feuded with her in the following months. Many fans wanted James to win the Women's Championship once again, but that didn't happen in WWE. Currently, she is an Impact Knockouts champion, having won the title from Deonna Purrazzo earlier this year at Bound for Glory. Other prominent wrestlers released in April included Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Bo Dallas, Chelsea Green, Kalisto, Wesley Blake, Tucker, and Mojo Rawley. After the main roster, WWE went on to release 7 NXT superstars, including Jessamyn Duke, The Velveteen Dream, Vanessa Bourne, Skylar Story, Ezra Judge, Alexander Wolf, and Kavita David. WWE shocked literally everyone with their releases in the month of June. Former WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman ended up on the list fresh off a feud for the WWE title. His final match was in a pay-per-view main event for a championship. His placement at the top of the roster was exactly the reason why no one thought we would ever see the Monster Among Men get released by the company, but it did happen. And on June 2nd, 2021 marked the end of Strowman's strong 6-year run with the company. Aleister Black was another name that no one expected to get released, as he had just started to be featured in a program with Big E on SmackDown and even got animated vignettes. He gets cartoons and still gets let go? Former NXT champion Black was said to be underutilized on the main roster, and therefore WWE decided to rebrand him and turn him heel. Well, they didn't even try this one out for long. Within a month, he signed with All Elite Wrestling, where he now performs as Malachi Black. 17 other names were let go by WWE in the month of June, and they include Buddy Murphy, Lana, Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, Killian Dane, Kurt Stallion, Austin Gray, Marina Shafir, Sunil Singh, Samir Singh, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Arturo Ruas, Tony Nese, Arya Davari, Chase Parker, and Matt Martell. In July, we got the most mind-boggling release of the year. Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, the Fiend, the leader of the Wyatt family, one of the most talked about wrestling characters of the last decade, let go, selling all of that merchandise, connecting with all of those fans, and his release led to some to feel insecure in their standing in the company. 13 talents in total were released from NXT on August 6th, with the most notable being Bobby Fish, who was a part of WWE's very beloved Undisputed Era faction. Multi-time tag team champion as well. Former NXT North American champions Bronson Reed and Leon Ruff were released, along with Asher Hale, Desmond Troy, Mercedes Martinez, Giant Zangier, Kona Reeves, Ari Sterling, Stephen Smith, Jake Atlas, Tyler Rust, and Zachariah Smith. November kicked off, though, with the release of Bearcat Keith Lee. After his stellar showing in the 2019 Survivor Series, Keith Lee was touted as the next big thing in WWE. The belief was further solidified when Lee's confrontation with Brock Lesnar raised some eyebrows at the 2020 Royal Rumble. And then after that, he had a stint as a double champion in NXT, capturing both the NXT Championship and the North American title. After a prolonged absence in 2021 owing to a serious health issue, Lee was suddenly let go by WWE on November 4th. Another name that no one was expecting to get let go was John Morrison. When Morrison returned to WWE in late 2019, fans were hopeful that he would be used as a top superstar in the company. However, Morrison found himself more in a supporting role to his former tag team partner, The Miz. For a majority of his second stint in the company, he was used as a comedy act along with The Miz. Former champions Nia Jax and Karrion Kross were released around the same time as well, and these are just 4 of the 22 cuts that WWE let go in November. This batch of cuts included B-Fab, Scarlett Bordeaux, Eva Marie, Mia Yim, Harry Smith, Oni Lorcan, Jessica Maya, Frankie Monet, Lance Dorado, Gran Metalik, Ember Moon, Katrina Cortez, Trey Baxter, Zeta Ramir, Jeet Rama, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Ashanti Adonis, Top Dollar, Drake Maverick, Tegan Knox, Jackson Riker, and Shane Thorne. The final month of 2021 saw another surprising release by WWE when Jeff Hardy's contract was terminated on December 9th. His most recent run with the company saw him capture the United States Championship, WWE Intercontinental Gold, and participate in several high-profile feuds and matches. In a majority of 2021, though, he was criticized for being on the losing end of some matches and that goofy 24/7 championship that everyone seems to chase. In December 2021, Hardy ended up walking out of a match in the middle of it on a live event and was sent home the next day when he was scheduled to appear on a separate live event. Eventually, WWE released Hardy from his contract, and currently he's serving a 90-day no-compete clause. And these are just the wrestlers. Jeff Jarrett, who served as a backstage producer, JoJo Offerman, Andon Verk, Greg Hamilton, and many WWE executives that you never see on camera were released from the company as well. Let's hope WWE doesn't have to repeat the same thing in 2022.